Fiber friends, it is Michelle. Welcome to episode 4 of Stashdown. For the 4th episode in a row, I apologize for the sound again in the background. We're just in the middle of a red hot summer and like a lot of people all over the place, so I gotta have that fan going. I walked up here, I opened the door, and it was like, oh my god, it is so hot in here. Apparently the air conditioning does not come up here to this room and come out of the vent that I'm staring at across the room, but here we are, 4 episodes in, and there's gonna be that background humming, and I apologize for that, but I am gonna roast otherwise. So it's kind of funny, it dawned on me, like, you know, when you have a baby and, you know, it's like for a while, it's like, oh, he's 6 weeks old, she's 12 weeks old, she's 26 months old, and, you know, finally by the time they get to 3, and you start going, oh yeah, she's 3, he's 4.5, he's gonna be in kindergarten next year, he'll be 5, you know, that kind of thing. I'm trying to figure out like when I'm gonna stop saying this is episode whatever of Stashdown. Maybe after 5. Maybe after next one. I'll still put it in the title on YouTube. It'll still be the episode number so I can track it that way. But yeah, like I don't need to say episode whatever because it's just Stashdown. So maybe this will be the last time, and since next episode will be episode 5, it'll just be welcome to Stashdown. So I will say update, last episode with Emma, I mentioned that I had 10 followers. I was all excited about that, and lo and behold, she had to leave like right after we filmed. She took back to Whitewater to go to work, and so I just proceeded to rewatch the video, just make sure everything looked okay, and then I went on with uploading it, and I saw that I actually had 15 subscribers, and I meant to actually check before I sat down tonight because as of at least earlier today or last night I had 17, so we're almost to 20 people. Wow, excited about that. So thank you to everybody who has joined, and I did share, I had a comment on the last episode with Emma that was specifically for Emma and her cross stitch, and it was the sweetest comment for her, and I texted her and I said, you gotta check out the comments for episode 3, and she just thought that was really special. So thank you so much for the kind words for Emma. She is incredibly talented, and if you think that she's an excellent cross stitcher, you should hear her play the cello. You should hear her sing, you should see her act, you should see her art. It's just like, she's just an all-around talented artistic kid. Both of my kids very, very, very talented. Just super proud of both of them, and you know, if they played soccer, I guess I wouldn't know anything about that, but I would be proud of them. But I just, yeah, they are very talented. So I was really happy that she had the opportunity to share that last week, and talk a little bit about stashing and FOMO and things like that from her perspective. That was fun. So thanks everybody for watching that, and for the continued feedback that I get on Stashdown. I really appreciate it. It's exciting, and I've been excited to be able to sit down and get another episode filmed today. Of course, the day went by so fast. I slept in. I didn't, again, typically these days, like if I sleep in, and my alarm, you know, I wake up around the time I normally wake up during the day to go to work, or my alarm goes off. Like this morning, my alarm went off at 6 because it's Friday, but I didn't have to go to work today. And I thought, okay, well good, I can just turn the alarm off. I don't have to get up, I can sleep in a little longer. I didn't intend to sleep in until like 10, but I did. I was like, geez. And that happened last weekend when I slept in. I did not mean to sleep in until 10. But like I go back to sleep and I'm just out again, just out. So maybe on the weekends, if I wake up at 6:30, just go like, you know what, just get up, because sleep until 10 is not where it's at. Because then by the time I get around and I get like off the, you know, morning routine of sitting around having some tea and scrolling when I don't have anything else to do because it's the weekend and I don't have to get up and start work, then like all of a sudden I'm like, oh my God, it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. That's what happened today. I am really excited because the next couple of days I'm solo right now. Tom is out of town until mid next week. I have a bunch of my knitting pals coming over to just hang out. We're having a no adulting, hanging out, knitting, spinning, chatting, eating, drinking, just kicking back and being with the girls retreat. Nobody took me up on having an adult pajama party, unfortunately. I thought for sure that would be an attractive, you know, in this house, like, hey, I'll stay the night in the big blue Victorian. But we're gonna stay as late as you want on Saturday. We're gonna meet for breakfast on Sunday, come back and stay however long you want on Sunday. Just knit to your heart's content. Bring food to share, whatever you want to do. Just hang out and no adulting allowed. So that's our plan. So I'm very, very excited for that. The house is finally put together. We had my son's graduation party last weekend, and you know, I mean, not that there isn't some stuff in boxes still that are put in closets and things that I'm gonna want to probably get into, like purses and stuff that I gotta figure out a better way to store because maybe I don't want them in the closet that they're in. But the house itself is actually ready for prime time. It's ready for guests. I feel good about it. I don't feel like, please excuse that we're still not unpacked. It looks great, and I am just, it's a different feeling in the house at this point. It's more relaxed, and I'm excited for tomorrow because it's kind of my second event, sort of, having people over and having fun. So there's that tomorrow, and Tour de Fleece is starting tomorrow. I intended this whole week to be my kind of like training laps for Tour de Fleece, and did I spin this week? I can't remember. There was one night, I can't remember if it was this week or it was when it was. But the last time I spun, I did spend a few hours in the evening spinning quite a bit. I think I did spin Tuesday night. I can't remember. It seems like it, because it seems like I was here by myself and I was up late and I just spun. But then the rest of the week, I've just been working on the test knit, and I'm getting to, I'm more than halfway through. It is no spoilers or anything by saying this. It's bottom up. It's a like cap sleeve tee, and it has a split hem, and you knit it up like, for my size, like 10.5 inches, and then you knit the front flat, finish that off with some shoulder shaping, get the live stitches on, you know, held on some, you know, to probably I'll do like I usually do barber cord, and then do the back the same way, and then there's some stitching together. I think there's also like I pick up the stitches and make the cuff on the sleeve, and then I think that's it. So I'm pretty much at this point, I think at the halfway or more than the halfway point. The front went pretty quickly. The back's gonna go pretty quickly too. I think I'm absolutely gonna get it done on time, especially with all the knitting that we're doing in the next couple of days. But I haven't been doing my training laps, and that was kind of my thing that I was gonna do. For me, Tour de Fleece, the last few years, I never join a team. I always just kind of do it on my own. I just kind of like to use it as an excuse to sort of try to jumpstart my spinning practice, and you know, in so doing, hone my spinning so that maybe I'm faster and get through my fiber more, you know, and use my stash. Are we seeing a theme? Excuse me. So I don't do the things like, oh, this day I'm gonna try a new fiber, or this day I'm gonna try a new technique, or this day, you know, not that I wouldn't, but I just, right now my goal is to just get some spins done, get yarn made. If I was in a spot where I could ply, then I would definitely make that part of Tour de Fleece. But you know, I have that big sweater spin I was talking about. I wanted to show it, and right now it's still on my Starling What is happening? What is happening right now? This, I don't know. This is Ursula. So everyone, this is Ursula. Ursula, this is everyone. Welcome to the podcast, Ursula. This is my combo spin. Don't look at me. Look at my singles. Look at my bobbin. This is Honeygold Acres, and it is a combo spin with Emily and Mabel colorways on Target. And I didn't bring. Oh, I can show you. Oh, here's the. You can kind of start to see the end. I love the end. So I'm going to. I've been spinning this a lot. There's a big old plump piece I'm going to have to pull back out and improve on. I've been trying really hard to spin a thinner single than my normal default single, and it looks to me like I feel like I've been consistent with that. So what I'm hoping for is a 3-ply that is no more than a DK weight. My toes are also crossed. But these are the, well, I made them into little guys, but to just grab, whoops, randomly. Come on now, you were all like made up into little guys, and now you're trying to come apart on me. But I think this is Mabel, but it might be Emily. So it's really nice oranges, purples. Don't look at me, look at my fiber. And this is either Emily or it's Mabel. I think this is Emily, but it could be wrong. Focus on my fiber. Go ahead and focus on my fiber. Purple and some gray in there, and yeah, I think it's gonna be pretty. I'm excited. So that is my combo spin. So I'm finishing up this bobbin here that I just showed you on old Ursula is the first bobbin. I started this spin like while I was in Michigan visiting my family for New Year's week. So like probably January 1st or maybe December 31st. It's Earl, he's back. Yes, it's like 8 o'clock at night or after. This is my second cup of tea for the day. I keep having to rewarm it. So yeah, the majority of that though has been probably 3 to 5 other sit down times for, you know, so when I tend to like, when I sit down to spin, whether it's like when we all get together, when I get together at our spinning meetups for the group, or pull my spin around in the evening or on a weekend day and spin, I'll spin for like 3 or 4 hours, and so I'll get a whole bunch done. But that's like, I need to stop like binge spinning, because what happens is I don't spin for too long, and then I'm like, oh, I gotta spin. If I'm gonna finish this, I really gotta spin. And so I'll pick a time when I know I have that kind of time to sit and spin. Sorry, that was funny. So what I really need to do is do it in chunks, more like how I knit every day, because there really isn't. It has to be a really, really busy, hellacious day for me to not knit for like some at least short period of time, even if it's like 5 or 10 minutes. But usually it's in the evening for a couple hours, or like I'll take my knitting to bed and I'll sit and knit in bed before I go to sleep, like most people do with reading. And so Tom's been gone for a few days and I miss him. And we're just not going to talk about what we call nighttime knitting. It's between us. Anyway, but I just had that little thought, and I'm missing him. Yeah, so what I need to really do, and what I try every year, what I have tried the last, I think, 3 years, when I learned what Tour de Fleece was, I have used it more to try to jumpstart my spinning practice. so that it's more regularly and consistently like my knitting, like which is just part of my day, like brushing my teeth or making sure I have something to eat or breathing, really. Like I said, if I never purposefully decide to not knit. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I am gonna sit down and read this book today in lieu of knitting because I want to read a book. No, I find the book on Audible, and so if I want to listen to that book, I'll listen to it while I knit. So knitting is never something that I choose to not do. Knitting is something that if I don't get a chance to do it during the day, it's really not the best day. Like, even if it was a really freaking good day, like, the only exceptions to the I did not knit rule, and that's really not a choice so much as a matter of time in the day and exhaustion, is if we're at Disney and we're like up with the sun or before, and we're rope dropping and we're going all day and we're getting home and it's now, because of the bus system, midnight, and we're just stumbling into the shower, washing off the sweat from the day and the sunscreen and going to bed. And maybe we're sitting there just because we're already like this, watching something for half an hour or so, like, so that, you know, just before we go to sleep, like to just sort of like bounce off our retinas until we fall asleep. And even then, sometimes I'll be like, well, maybe I'll pull out the sock that I brought, you know. So that's about the only thing where I would say that is a really freaking good day, and I didn't even knit, and we did like, you know, 5 to 8 of those in a day or something, and you know, in a row. But I usually, you know, on any trip, I've got knitting with me, and there's probably at some point, whether it's the flight or, you know, maybe it occurs to me and we're home a little earlier than we normally are, that, you know, during that time period where I can pull something out and do a row or something while I'm on that trip. But, you know, that's a special situation. On normal days, it's just not, no matter what happens, it's not as good as it could have been if I had at least sat down and got a couple rows in, at least got my hands in my knitting. So I don't, and it's my absolute ride or die. So okay, spinning's never going to be that. I'm never going to feel like I didn't spin today, and it's just, it could have been a better day today. It's not that, but I do want to not neglect my spinning, not get to the point where I just feel like I, you know, yeah, you know what I'm trying to say, right? Like, I just want to make it more of a regular part of my day, of my life. Not even necessarily my day, but more, you know, I don't want to go, let's say, a week and I haven't spun a third of the time. I'm not going to say half. I think that's kind of ambitious because I do enjoy knitting. Knitting is easier. It's quicker to pull out. You can like pull it out of the bag and go. Even with these spinners that are light and easy and portable, I don't leave them set up downstairs because of my cat. I don't spend time up here doing, I intended to, and I may more in the colder months, but here, right now, this is not a comfortable place to be in the heat. And if Tom's home, I don't want to be up here, you know, clothes off, and, you know, if I'm knitting, it's usually in the evening when we're sitting and we're watching something, whatever it is that we're watching on HBO or Netflix or whatever show, you know, we're binging at that time. So that's when I have my knitting time, and when I can have my spinning time. But with the spinners, there is that time of like setting up, getting it all out, you know, that takes, it's more, and then putting it all the way at the end. And so there is a little bit more of the prep and breakdown to spinning than knitting, where you just unzip the bag, pull it out, and go. So that's one reason why I don't do it as often. But I use Tour de Fleece every year to try to do that. So that is where I'm at. I don't join teams because I haven't successfully made it all the way through a Tour de Fleece ever. Something always, is, like sticking a stick in the spokes, and then I'm off the bike. A lot of time, and that's another reason why I don't like follow the like where is the rest day for the actual athletes, because that's kind of where like I want to try to, if there's a day when I can barely fit knitting in, then then I'm not gonna be able to fit spinning in, and I have to just like consciously get back like the next day. We can't have 2 days like that in a row. But if I plan and go, okay, tomorrow's my off day, I have lots of time, and I could have, but it's my off day, so I'm just gonna not do it that day. I don't know, there's something with me psychologically where I'm like, blah, 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 and that's where the wheels fall off. So this year my goal is to spin every day, even if it's just for a little bit, spin on this project. This is going to be, like I said, what I'm doing is, so I started to say this bobbin that I started in January, I've been making good progress on the last 2 or 3 times I spun, in big chunks. This bobbin, I think, will be full with the first 2 braids. 1 braid of Mabel, 1 braid of Emily. I have 2 more braids of each. I had 3 braids of each. This is a big old sweater spin, and probably who knows what else I'll be able to make out of it. It's gonna be I could probably make, I don't know, Paul Bunyan sweater out of this thing. I don't know. I'm assuming it's gonna be more than I need for a sweater from me. So we'll see what I have left over. I'm hoping, like I said, it's DK at the most as a 3-ply. But I think what's gonna happen, I think I'll be able to do 3 starling bobbins with, 2 braids of one of each color, 3 of those, so 6 total. Look at me doing the math, like you don't know what I'm trying to say. And then, I mean, not to say that, well, they should be even technically, but hopefully what'll happen is I'll just do a 3-ply right off of those. Rewind them, get them all ready to go, and then do a 3-ply and have I'm guessing then, I don't know, seems like a logical assumption that I'm gonna get, well, no, I'll probably have more than 3 bobbins because it'll be heavier. I don't know. I have enough spare bobbins. I'll have enough for the actual yarn, but I don't know how many skeins I'll get out of that then. 6? I think when I did like a great big 6 or so braid spin, I only did a 2-ply of that one last year, and it was heavier singles. I have like, God, I think I got like 8 skeins out of that. So we'll see, it'll be interesting. But I also want to do, like I struggled. So I said this on our Discord for the spinning group, which I'm finally starting to get into, finally. I've been part of this spinning group from the beginning, but I haven't been the most present. Those of you watching, and I get right down to the wire of the rules for the group. And like, I think literally the last 2 times I've been has been right at that 6-month mark. And kind of the rules are, if you go more than 6 months without showing up for a group spin, you're kind of out of the group. Shunned. You're out of there. It's not like that, but So yeah, one reason or another, and this spring I've had a lot of good excuses, but now I really don't, and I'm missing it enough that this is something that I want to get back to. And I also just kind of feel disconnected because I haven't been into Discord a lot. But I found that, especially recently with all the stuff with Meta, and I couldn't completely just discontinue and dump my Facebook and Instagram accounts because there's just so much on there that I don't want to lose. But I really, for a long time, I stopped really posting a lot and really trying to follow other platforms, which turned out to, you know, not be. Blue Sky is fine. A lot of people went over there. Even like a lot of yarn and fiber folks went over there, which is great. But I have found that my entire feed it's gone from like more political stuff than I ever intended to have and be consuming on Facebook, and even to some degree on Instagram. So that's all it is, and so that's all it is. And I, you know, right now I kind of am taking a break from that because I get enough of that everywhere. My focus is really mainly on Instagram because it feels less like that than Facebook, and there is more of the yarn and fiber and dyer and designer content. But that's another reason why it was very hard for me to make a decision to dump Instagram, because that is such an outlet for that, and that's where I have found test knit opportunities and stuff like that too. So I really didn't want to break away from that, and I'm kind of back in the mix, and I'm back to the doom scroll. For a while I wasn't doom scrolling, you know, and it was kind of nice, and then I kind of was scrolling Blue Sky too much. And there was another one my daughter turned me on to called Kara that was some really more geared toward artists, but I didn't really see a lot of this, you know, the people that I follow and want to follow, whether it's people I know or whether it's, you know, the rock stars of our community. They weren't, at least at the time. I haven't looked at it in a while, but they weren't. I don't think there was enough. I don't think there has been enough, or at the time at least, unless something's changed. I don't think there's enough exposure out there. I don't think enough people know about it, and people were moving to Blue Sky, but they weren't moving to Kara. And if they did, and that could take the place of Instagram, and great, but I didn't want to have to like keep adding things. And frankly, I just miss the days of Facebook, the old original days of Facebook, in like the mid 2000s, the teens, early, you know, I think I joined in 2009 or something, 2010 maybe, like those days, and then into, you know, maybe the mid 20-teens, when it was a place where I was reconnecting with friends and meeting new friends, and adopting Facebook friends of other friends, because you would see each other on, you'd recognize each other from your friends' posts and comments, and it was about making everyday observations and laughing about it, and it was a source of entertainment and comedy and reconnecting with friends. And when I was first here in Wisconsin, my kids were little, and I wasn't really making a lot of friends, because if I wasn't at work, I was just taking care of the kids all the time, and not really going out and socializing a whole lot. My social life was connecting with my friends on Facebook, and it hasn't been like that on Facebook in a really, really long time. And I'm realizing that Discord feels more like old school Facebook, and so I'm trying to get, at least in this group, you can follow people, you can follow all kinds of things on Facebook, influencers, people you follow on YouTube or other, stuff like that you can join their Discord, and then it feels like the same kind of thing, where anybody who disagrees with you can say anything, because they don't have to be accountable, because they're not going to ever see you, and in that sense, it doesn't feel a whole lot better than any other social media. But when it's a group of people who actually kind of get together in person in real time and spend time together, when it's a group like that, then it does feel more like old school Facebook. So kind of realizing that a little bit more, and I think that has to do with just kind of how my needs for social media are changing. And so I've been spending more time trying to connect with that group in the last couple of weeks, because I hadn't really been. Every once in a while I'd check, and I would miss a lot of things. I would miss a lot of what they were doing, and definitely one of the reasons why I wasn't going to the group as much, because I just wasn't paying attention and keeping up with what weeks they were meeting and when they were having pop-up meetings and other little field trips that they were doing and fiber that they were buying and stuff like that. So fiber that they were buying, probably a good thing that I wasn't following along in the Discord for a while, because it's already gotten me into trouble. I am going to show a few more things because I have some thoughts and ideas, and I want to show a few things that I've got some acquisitions recently for some, newly released patterns that I couldn't sit on my hands and not do right away. But it doesn't appear that once I'm filming like this that I can actually turn my camera around, so that it's not forward facing, and then flip it back again when I want to sit back down. So I got some fiber this week from the Inglenook Fibers release that I think I talked about. Did I? Sometimes what I do, just to kind of get my mind prepared for what I'm going to talk about, if I'm driving somewhere and I don't feel like listening to a podcast or music, I will just out loud talk out what the episode might contain, and then sometimes it's like, did I say that on the real podcast the last time? Or was that when I was doing a pretend podcast to myself in the car? So if I repeat myself, that might be why. But I got fiber from Inglenook. And I'm going to, once I'm done, I'm going to just do a short video with the camera facing away so I can see what's going on the picture. You know what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna switch the camera around because while it's filming, it doesn't appear that I can do that. If there's a way to do that, somebody tell me. Because I'm not tech savvy, remember? But I can't tell on the screen. It doesn't look to me like without stopping it, and then I'd have to be editing things. I'd have to be splicing things together. My camera's telling me more light is required. You know what? That's because I didn't turn the ring light on this time. I think that's the setting I usually use. Hi, how's that? And now I have googly eyes. I hate that so much. I look like a cross-eyed weirdo. Anyway, yeah, so I'm going to do a short little thing that'll throw on there, and then hopefully be short enough too that I can put it as Instagram content, maybe. I was trying to figure all out how this will be. Did I say this on the last one, or was it right after the episode? And on the last actual episode, I said I was thinking about doing an Instagram account. Was that a car conversation with myself? Or did I already talk about this? Anyway, if I haven't said this to you guys before, I did do an Instagram. Some of you may already realize that. I could not use the name Stashdown because somebody on Instagram already has called Stashdown. So my Instagram account for the podcast is Stashdown PC. For podcast PC. See how I did that? So Stashdown PC, if you want to follow me on Instagram, we'll be using that for keeping, if we're doing alongs, we can post and show pictures and tag Stashdown PC with your progress, stuff like that. And so far the only thing that I've posted is my cover photo, which is the same as the photo for YouTube. And did I mention that that's the I'm here for real on camera? That picture is the picture from Fly-In. That's the infamous picture that I talked about, I think, in the first episode. And that picture, and maybe what I'll do is I'll also pull out the pictures and post them to Stashdown PC Instagram of the actual layout on the bed. But what we decided to do, Emily and me, she and I went together, and she's phenomenal, by the way, at taking pictures of projects, yarn, finished object, garments or shawls or whatever. If you want a really good picture taken, you got to talk to her because, man, she's just good at it. And just like arranging things, skeins of yarn, stuff like that. And getting really good pictures of light and the whole thing. So we laid, and I think this was just the first day. And I don't think I ever went back and did it again with all the stuff I got on the Sunday. But my haul from the first day covered the queens. So I had a room with 2 queens, covered the queen size bed, covered it. So what we decided to do was, it'd be really funny if I lay down on the bed with this haul, a la Indecent Proposal. So that's what the picture is. That's what that's from. So I figured, what better picture of me to use as my Stashdown avatar, and also the Stashdown Instagram page. So that's what that picture is, and that's the only thing that it appears that's the only thing I've posted on Instagram so far. So I'll try to figure out how to put this little video on Instagram too of just the fibers. I'll make it really short, and I'll also just upload it after this video as kind of like the little bonus episode 4.2, 4.1, whatever. That sounds computery, so you know what I'm saying. Just a little bonus, extra little, what is it, a reel? I don't know. I'm feeling very old. I'm gonna drink some tea. Hi Earl, how's it going? Okay. So, what off the topic of stashing down should I talk about next? I know, my acquisition from last week or so. This is for the Nightlights shawl. Right? Nightlights by Andrew Mowry. I almost just said Stephen Mowry because Stephen West and Andrew Mowry. Yeah, so, and of course I went with, this actually wasn't a kit because this particular kit was sold out, but then I could get the yarn, the spin cycle yarn, not in the kit. So I was like, well, I'm just gonna do that. I'll just get the nightshades directly from Harrisville. So I have never knit with Harrisville nightshades, but I've always been kind of intrigued by the concept of their daylights and their nightshades. So, and there's nobody around here that's I think they sell this at Cream City in Milwaukee. I've never been there. They also sell this. Is kind of, I think, the only place in the area that has spin cycle, which is probably a good thing. So yeah, so this is nightshades in the colorway Last Call, which is one of the blue. So I don't know, I think you can probably tell if I do this maybe. The dealio with nightshades, if you don't know, is that it's like a black base, and I think you can, yeah, you can see that it's a black base that's kind of heathered with a color. So in this case, it's a blue. And so I paired it with this Dream State, which is 11th Hour. Oh, for goodness sake. Don't look at my face, look at my yarn. There we go. If I'm honest, when I ordered this, I was thinking that it was more on the, like, some darker blues in there. And it's with this kind of yarn, you know. It's, you could look at a table full of the skeins and they could actually look like different colorways, but they're just where it comes out in the Barber Pole link. But I think it's gonna look really cool, very nice. And I'm at least happy that they didn't send me skeins that were very yellow heavy, because there is yellow in this colorway, and yellow is my least favorite color. It's okay if it's a color pop, but if it was real yellow heavy, which some of the pictures on the website were, and I think I specifically said, please don't get the yellow heavy. I'm at least happy that it's a little more spread out. I think I did say to please try to send skeins that have like a good combo of the colors and not heavy on any one specific one, and especially not yellow heavy, please. So I may swatch. I think I am gonna cake those up and swatch them for the shawl this weekend. Not tonight. I'm spinning tonight, and it's already getting late. But you know what? The deal is that the early bird is away, so the night owl is playing every single night. I have been up since Sunday night last week until like 12 to 1:30 a.m. even on work nights. Why? Because deep in my soul, I am a night owl. I am a night owl who has been forcibly made to be an early bird by my career choice and the jobs that I've had at the company where I work for the last 17, almost 18 years. And that work schedule, which right now is a little more flexible than it used to be because of the position that I've taken over the last 3 years that I'm in now. I have some availability to work at home, and so, you know, if I try to shoot for 7:30, 8 o'clock getting into the office, I have to get up at a certain time. If I can sit my butt in my desk chair here at home by 8 o'clock and be good, I don't have to get up that early. But before that, when I had to be at work by like 6:30, man, and I had like a 25-minute drive in, that was like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. I have not, in the 15 years that I had that position as a veterinarian, I could never get my internal night owl self to change. So this week, because Tom, I love you. You are my person, but being somebody's person, their soulmate person, doesn't necessarily mean that you're on the same time schedule, that you're both night owls or you're both early birds. And he is an early bird. He is an early bird who has a very difficult time even being up, not even where I would say a person was a night owl. If you're a night owl, I feel like you're not even thinking about going to bed until like 10:30 at night, maybe later. You know, I'm not like a stay up all night, only need 3 hours sleep kind of person. I need my sleep, but I can go for 8 days on like 5-6 hours of sleep. Sure, no problem. Sleeping on Friday or Saturday. Friday we don't have to work, or Saturday. Not this weekend. I can't actually sleep in tomorrow and Sunday because of the retreat. But you know, yeah, wait, sleep in accidentally until 10 o'clock. That's fine. I didn't have any plans. It's cool. But the rest of the week I get, you know, maybe 5.5, 6 hours of sleep. That's all good. So I have to spin tonight. I'm gonna finish that last row on the front of the tusk knit where I have to stitch, bind off, stitch, put these on barber cord, and then I have to put it in a bag, and I have to pull out Ursula and I, or this is where I have to ask for some help, maybe, or it's probably not. I'll ask for help, and you can put some stuff in the comments, but I haven't been getting comments. You guys need to comment. Please comment. I want some conversation here. We got 17 of the best subscribers on YouTube, and I need some conversation. When I say, what are your vices? I need you to say these, and then we can be like, oh yeah, ooh, I gotta check that out. When I say, what's your FOMO? You gotta say, this is my FOMO. I'll be like, yeah, you know, that helps. I get that too. You know, whatever. And what do you think about this? Oh, let's talk about that on the next episode. this to be a conversation. It can't be a conversation like this when I'm sitting in the chair and I'm filming, obviously. It can if I'm a guest like Emma, we can talk and you can watch that happen. But the comments is where I need you to be. I need you to talk to me. Let me know. So since Tour de Fleece starts tomorrow, and since I got friends over and stuff in the next couple of days, and I might not be like checking my comments, you can give me your thoughts. You can vote if you will. But I probably want to make a decision because I started the Discord conversation by saying in the Discord, in the Tour de Fleece folder, I was saying to my pals, I have a conundrum. I am up in life, in love. I'm monogamous. Monogamous, always. I am 100% loyal and faithful, always. That's me. In knitting, I'm a flirty flirt, polyamorous knitter. And right now, it is 7-year itch time with this test knit. It just is, like I can't, I want to get back to my other t-shirt that I was really enjoying, that I started right before the test knit, and while I knew that I was waiting on yarn for the test knit, what do? I start another project that I know is going to take me longer than the wait for the yarn to come in for the test knit. I have purchased Spin Cycle for a night shift shawl that's sitting over there, and I'm dying to start because I love the night shift shawl. I love the shift cowl. I have yarn for a shift cowl from Spin Cycle that I purchased, like, I don't know, in January, I think, that I would love to do. I have hats I want to make for people. I have a cowl I want to make for someone. I have all these things. And I feel like I can't do anything but this, doesn't it? Polyamorous knitter. And it drives me crazy to be a monogamous knitter. It drives me crazy. But I'm not a polyamorous spinner. I feel compelled to stick with a spinning project. Is anybody else like that? Comment. Do you feel one way about, if you're a knitter and a spinner, do you feel one way about knitting and another way about spinning in terms of multiple projects at one time? Now, here's also the dumb deal. I have 2 daedalus spinners. I have my girl over here in the corner. Her name is Aurora. I haven't used her in a long time. I tried recently to do it again. I was talking about that. Love you, babe. I'd have to do that in here. There's no way I'm carrying that thing up and down these stairs and all the way to the other end of the house. Hell no. So this will be where I use her when I do use her. But right now I am so in love with my birds, and that's where my spinning is at. And I don't have the patience for big spins on a drop spindle right now. Maybe someday I'll get that bug more. So Ursula and Maleficent are my girls. They're my girly girls. They're not girly. They're not very girly. I mean, it's Maleficent and Ursula. So, but I have 2 of them. And I do, when I ply, I'll use the other one or rewind, whatever. Like I will use, if I've spun on one, I'll use the other one. Sometimes, whatever, I'll use them that way. But I can be polyamorous because I have 2 wheels. So I've been torn because I got this big 6 skein combo spin, 6 braid combo spin that I'm not even a third of the way through. And a big chunk of my brain is like, stick with that spin. You don't want to lose momentum. You want to finish that spin. It's a huge spin. like, and it's so much more labor intensive, as I was talking about, to get the wheel up and all the things. I think there's probably lots of reasons. And you want to stay consistent, which is, you know, more of a thing I feel like with spinning. So there's lots of reasons why I think and I feel like I am drawn to being monogamous with spinning compared to knitting. So it's hard for me to think about doing something else and kind of going back and forth during this time. But also, you know, if I'm gonna just hardcore it and say I'm not gonna take any breaks because I want to just try to build this consistency of spinning, then I feel like to do that I have to give myself some variety. If I'm not going to say, oh, today is the day where we spin with a different fiber, or today is the day we spin with a different technique, or today is the day we spin with a different type of device, or today is the day we knit with what we spun, or today we ply, whatever. If I'm just gonna spin, I kind of feel like it will help my engagement if I do spin with something else. So I've decided to do something else. I've decided to use Maleficent here. Oh, you can see her, she's right here. Isn't she pretty? So they're opposite. So she's purple with black, and Ursula is black with purple. There's a purple theme in my life. Anyway, yeah, so I'm having struggles. When you see the pictures that I'm going to post, the picture of the bed with Stash, that's just the fly-in, people. What have I been saying about my little problem in the last couple months with Three Waters Farm? And the fact that I have belonged to subscriptions with Hello Yarn and Three Waters Farm, and then back on the Three Waters Farm subscription train. And I've bought fiber I didn't buy any fiber at Rhinebeck. I was surprised by the lack of fiber at Rhinebeck. Although I passed by Into the World because it was so crowded and I knew people who were buying that stuff, and I didn't hear about it until Rhinebeck, honestly. But there was something really specific I was looking for in terms of fiber, and I wasn't finding it, and I was like, eh. So anyway, but I have bought a fair amount of fiber at Sheep and Wool, Wisconsin Sheep and Wool. And I'll probably buy more in September. And yet, I'm having a hard time figuring out what I want to do. I don't want to do another big giant sweater spin. I have yarn for another sweater spin. I think that Mabel Emily is going to probably be, I might try the DRK everyday sweater, which I don't make shorty sweaters. I don't make shorty sweaters. I make a shorty sweater and it's like a bikini top, you know, right? I don't like short sweaters on myself. That was kind of obnoxious. Sorry. But I don't like the way a shorty sweater looks on me. I haven't tried it with like a maxi dress though, so maybe that would work. But for me, a shorty would still just like, would come down like to my waist, but not down over my hips, which is where I usually want them to, like at least hit my hips and, you know, maybe slightly cover my bum. Yeah. So it would be a DRK everyday that was longer with a little more ease, I think. Or it might be another weekender, I'm not sure. However, I did purchase a sweater quantity of, I'll put up, you know what, these are not, the thing about Three Waters Farm is they don't put them in a braid, they just put them in the bag. So if I pull this all out of there, I'm never gonna get back in the bag nicely. But this is the colorway Old Stone House by Three Waters Farm. It's nice and earthy, a little slightly jewelry toned, but really earthy. And I like it a lot. I feel like it's, oh, you know what I think I'm gonna do with this is a traveler hoodie, probably. Hoodie or Yeah, probably the hoodie. I don't think I would do the shell. So I think I'm gonna do a traveler hoodie with this. Maybe without the hoodie. I don't know. Traveler though. It's gonna be a traveler sweater. Here's same colorway, a little more purpley in there, but still really earthy. Is that even focusing? Because when I do this, I can't see what I'm doing. And sorry for the bag shine. I know that doesn't show. Oh, that's a little bit better maybe because you don't see the shine as much, but those are the colors. But that is a big spin. That's a sweater spin again. Like, I don't want to start another big sweater spin until this big sweater spin is done. So this is probably not happening. Around the time I indulged in that big ass sweater spin, pardon my, excuse me, I went naval there for a second. I went all truck driver. Around that same time, because sometimes I don't write things down, and I have a memory like a block of Swiss cheese for most things. I just do. Like, I remember things, but I don't remember things. Like, I remember that I ordered a bunch of fiber. I don't remember exactly what I was gonna put with what, and I'm looking at it and I'm like, did this go with this? Was this supposed to be like a combo spin? Like, I think that I got based on the fiber content and what the fiber content looks like. I think there's 3 of them in here that I got to do something with, and then it looks like there's 4 here that I got, and I don't know. They're all kind of similar. So I have, these are all 3 waters. I have Plum Alley, which is superfine merino, 100% superfine merino. I'm guessing not superwash. One is 100% fine Polworth, which is called Sing Me to Sleep. This is 100% Rambouillet in Woodland Lights. And then another 100% fine Polworth in Light Angels. I do feel like there is a color theme going on here, and I think it maybe kind of goes a bit like this. Maybe like this. He's got some earthiness. These kind of both have some earthy, but they have the blue and some purple, and then this one has some pink. And but then it also kind of comes back around to some earthy together. So I don't know, I mean, this could be fun to do. I don't know. Like, just do a, like each of these individual but fractal, and then I don't know that there's enough difference in these 4 to do like a night shift. I don't think that they're different enough. But you know what? Sometimes I am so myopic about designers and designs, frankly. I could probably, okay, here is today's episodes. It's like vices and FOMO, and I don't think we talked about one in episode 2. But we've talked about vices, we've talked about FOMO, and I'm waiting for your comments. This one, I would like to know, what is your desert island yarn? If you're a spinner too, what is your desert island fiber? And what, you can either tell me your desert island, you can tell me your desert island designer if you have one. Because then you could be like, I'm going with desert island designer so that I can have a little more versatility. So yes, I want to know your desert island yarn, your desert island fiber, your desert island designer, and your desert island pattern. So if you have a pattern, or in the case of the shift, which is my desert island pattern, you have the cowl, the shawl, the sweater, the hat. So it could be any of those things. So really, you're still got 4 projects out of 1 pattern. You want to know mine? You're going to hear mine anyway. Whether you want to or not. You're here, right? And if you're still here, you want to know. I just told you my desert island pattern. My desert island pattern is the Shift series. It's cheating a little bit. I suppose if you wanted to know which one, I haven't done the sweater or the hat. I've done the cowl and I've done the shawl. I suppose I would say the shawl, the night shift shawl. If I had a desert island pattern and I couldn't say the Shift series, because, you know, it's really not fair to limit me. I'm on a desert island, I'm miserable, it's hot, there's sand, and you're gonna limit me to one of the Shift patterns. I'm gonna say the shawl. I know that you're not that restrictive though, right? Because we're knitters, we're fiber artists. We're gonna say, yeah, you can do the whole series, whichever one you want. You can say the series and that's the same. Desert Island Designer. I think everybody knows at this point. My Desert Island designer is Andrea Mowry. That broadens things quite a bit. She's got lots of shawls, lots of sweaters, cardigans, pullovers, color work, cabling, mosaic, well, which is color work, stranded color work, mosaic, just stockinette, stuff that has a pattern. She has, you know, shawls, cowls, hats, socks. I think the only thing she hasn't knit is pants. So, you know, I'm just gonna wear bathing suit bottoms and then whatever. Now, one would ask, why are we talking about knitwear on a desert island? That's a fair point. Who cares? We're talking about hypothetical here, and so we're just gonna go with the desert island theme. You could say stranded at a pole. You could say, you know, if I get stranded on a pole, whether it be the North Pole or the South Pole, I don't know which I would pick, but since the penguins are down south, sure. I was pretending that I was thinking about what some of my desert island things were. I just kind of, my brain just sort of took a break. I glitched a little bit. That was me buffering. That's what I look like when I buffer. Okay. That's what I would edit out right there. If you want to know what I would edit out of this episode, it would be that. I just sort of went off into my own world for a second. I forgot that I was on camera, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so the shift, the night shift shawl, if I must, Andrea Mowry. Okay, actually, this is hard because if my pattern is the night shift, the shift series, and my designer is Andrea Mowry, then one could deduce easily by what you've known about me so far that my desert island yarn would be Spin Cycle. And you wouldn't necessarily be wrong. However, I have knit several things from Andrea Mowry, and I've only recently started purchasing Spin Cycle. So, as much as I would want to say that, I will say that my desert island yarn is Malabrigo. We haven't talked about Malabrigo. I got plenty of that. I failed to mention Malabrigo as one of my vices, but Malabrigo, I mean, up until January, I think probably if you looked in my stash, I would say that, but on a percentage basis of yarn that's in my stash, Malabrigo would be hands down what's in my stash. That is the majority. Like any one yarn, that's the majority. It would be Malabrigo, or that I've already knit with. It is just absolutely magical. Their colorways are magical. Their dye technique is magical. It's magical. And they have so many different, and that was actually, Malabrigo was my gateway yarn, by the way. Malabrigo, it was the one that has like, not thick and thin, but like, the heck was it called? It has like the kind of the black, I'll think of it probably in the middle of the night. I'll wake up and I shout it. Anyway, that was my first, I think that was my gateway into yarn, snob yarn. It's my gateway away from, was the path that led me away from Michaels and Joanne. Because the price point is fantastic. They have different weights. The colors are, I mean, between whether it's one of their tonals or, you know, semi-solid tonal or variegated. I mean, what else do you need? If you have to pick one yarn, what else do you need, right? So Malabrigo, and that, once I started knitting with that, that kind of like, that's kind of what, that's how I got on the path. And at the time it was great because it's really not that, it's really, I mean, it's more than Red Heart or Karen, but it's really for hand-dyed yarn like that, or, you know, that kind of dyed yarn. It's well priced, and it's good yarn. If you don't have a problem with superwash. So, I would say that my hands down Desert Island fiber for over an hour, oh my goodness, is I'm gonna go with Honey Gold Acres. I love her colors. I love her fiber choices. I just love Honey Gold Acres. So those are my Desert Island preferences. So one would think it would be Three Waters, because on a percentage basis, at this point, that's what I have the most of. The other option, so this, figuring out what in the hay I'm gonna do with this over here, I think it would be, like I said, here's where I got on this where I got on this subject, is that, Michelle, it doesn't have to be. You're not on a desert island. You're not at the South Pole. I mean, open your phone and look at Ravelry, for crying out loud. There are even other Andrew Mowry, or there's, you don't have to just knit Andrew Mowry. You haven't given Stephen West some love in a while. I mean, for that, I'm gonna go with whips and stuff, and kits that I already have. I used to, like during the pandemic, I really felt like I had a loyalty to Stephen West. I felt like if I was doing something that wasn't Stephen West, I was like cheating on Stephen. I would never do that. He got me through. Like, he jump-started my knitting mojo. Like, I talked about that before. I know I talked about that before on here, and not just to myself in my car. I just think Andrea is just my girl. And yeah, when I think about what I'm gonna do with my hand spun, I default to that. I find myself defaulting to that. So, like, I know that with some of the Inglenook that I'll show in that separate little tiny video that I'm gonna do, it's for a Find Your Fade. Now, ask me how many Find Your Fades are in the closet in bags that are languishing UFOs. Ask me again. I think I said this, how many Find Your Fades I finished. I think we talked. I think that this came up before. Maybe. I think it did. Well, maybe when I said how many have I done, it's this. That was the Killer Queen cowl. Yeah. Also Find Your Fade. But Find Your Fade, I have started a few. Find Your Fade. I've even started a Find Your Fade where I've tweaked the pattern. I have to look at my notes. But I bought a bunch of alpaca yarn. It's like kitten, it's like baby bunny soft. It's like alpaca soft. I mean, anyway, it's I got it in like some like shades of gray, natural, not dyed alpaca. And I started to Find Your Fade, but I found that the way it was gonna fade wasn't, I wanted it to do something different, and so I kind of like changed the pattern with more purling, I think it was. I forget. Like I said, I have notes, and I just haven't. It's a languishing UFO, I should say. But it's another version of Find Your Fade. It's basically using the Find Your Fade as a template and just kind of changing the way I was approaching things. Because I liked the way it was coming out better when I did it that way. And then I probably have, and I have yarn for other Find Your Fades. But I have, probably at least 2 other Find Your Fades on needles already, just hanging out, taking up needle. So I either need to just like look at more different, like I know there's a Free Your Fade, and I know there's other ones that are fades for her, but yeah, because I feel like I got these to fade like that. But you can do anything. I could do a traveler with this, but I have other yarn that I bought that I said I want to buy this yarn because I want to make a traveler spin cycle. Another traveler shawl, because I have a traveler shawl. Tell me I'm not alone. Comment that I'm not alone. This is Paul Worth Tussa Silk and Hushed Stillness. This is Superfine Merino Tussa Silk. Tussa Silk being apparently the theme here. In Black Hollyhocks. Again, here's colorways that look like I bought them purposely to go together, and we have silk as a theme, so kind of the same sort of textures. And then this for extra fun, because it doesn't completely go, Paul Worth Tussa Silk and Quilter's Magic. Now this could have been, if I find another one in there, this could have fallen out when I was looking for things, and I don't think so though. I think this was part of this purchase. But I don't know where. There's no blue in the rest of this. These look like they go together. This one looks like it's one of these things is not like the other, but god dang it, look at that. Maybe I should just, maybe I should just like put this on old Maleficent. Let's figure out how to do that without the bag shine. And that'll also like not try to, don't look at me, look away, look at the fiber, look how beautiful it is. Silk, man, it's just freaking awesome. Yeah, so, the more I look at this, the more I'm like, damn, yeah. I don't know what I would do with just that, but maybe some color work in a yoke or something. Just pull the trick. Can you just make some yarn out of this? I don't know, I'm looking at that going, hey. That set of 4, hey. Not this so much. This is very similar in a way to Emily Mabel. It's similar in a way. It's probably not that. I need something different. This is different. This is different. This is a big spin. Like this I could maybe get done, or mostly done. Put your thoughts in the comments, please. And maybe I'll start something without looking at comments, because I'll probably do some spinning tomorrow. I'm sure I'm gonna do some spinning tomorrow on Sunday. Maybe I can't start a third thing, because I can't just be like taking bobbins off, putting bobbins on when they're not completely full. But I want to see what you think and see if I picked what most people picked. But I can't do that. I can't know that if you don't comment. Please tell me what you think. Tell me what your FOMO is, your strongest FOMO, or FOMOs. It doesn't have to be one. Tell me what your vices are. Tell me your desert island stuff. You can put it here. You can put it under each of the individual episodes. Episode 1 was vices. Episode 3 was FOMO. This one, what are your desert islands? And by the way, desert island fiber and yarn don't have to come from your stash. You know, you have been unfortunate enough to find yourself stranded, shipwrecked, exiled, whatever got you to this desert island or to the pole. Because we're going with the desert island where what you're making, because this is the fantasy, this is Fantasy Island. No, it's not, because then it would be deserted. You don't get hot. You can wear this stuff, but you don't get hot. So it all works out, makes sense in this hypothetical crazy idea. Because, you know, the desert island thing is just a thing. It's just a framework. Yeah. Tell me what those are. And it doesn't come from your stash. It's like Lost. Raise your hand if you're a Lostie. Lostie here. You know, it just gets delivered. Like, you don't even know of, like, suddenly there's a parachute and pow. Like, that's how it's delivered. But you have to make your choice. And you can't change it. So, all right, this is the longest. They keep getting longer and longer, people, and crazier, right? Now I'm talking closer and closer to the camera and trying to get you to talk to me back. Please talk to me back. Hour and 15 minutes and change. And this is where I'm gonna say, thank you for joining me. If you have not, please like and subscribe. Don't I sound like a YouTuber now? Yes. Love you guys. Thanks for watching. Get out there and get your fiber on. And if you're doing Tour de Fleece, go! You can do it. You can do whatever you want with it. You can just do it. Kick some butt. And I'll be back with a brief little show and tell, not show and tell, but, like, you know, a little video of my angle neck fiber that I bought, which there's something about I don't necessarily, that's not what I want to use. I didn't necessarily buy it for Tour de Fleece. I just said my goodbye thing and then I start talking again.